Hello, today is July 12th, 2018. I hope you're well. Today we're going to talk about something that we've talked about a little bit in the past, and it has to do with the subject of friendship. So, of course, we're not going to do the same recording that we did previously, but we're going to talk about what is a friend in a different kind of a way than we did the first time. Actually, I think we did two before. But anyway, so it seems like people have this idea that a real friend, a true friend, is someone who will stand by you and support you through whatever gobbledygook mess comes your way. Or actually, that's not even a true statement because they don't come our way. The things that happen in our lives just really are manifestations of the stuff that's going on inside of us, and it's just made obvious to us in the world, in our world around us. So anyway, I digress. So the idea is that if you're really my friend, you're going to stand by me no matter what. No matter what. And you know, that sounds really good on paper, doesn't it? It's like, wow, through thick and thin, like blood brothers. Yeah, just I always got your back. You can count on me. And it sounds really good. But when we kind of peel it back and really investigate, we have to ask, is that always the best thing? Is that always the best way to express the way we feel about another person as far as being supportive and standing by them through whatever? Are there times where we shouldn't support someone and stand by them? Are there times where we should back off because, you know, maybe this isn't something that should be supported? So that was just kind of a prelude. The real thing we want to talk about is how is the question, if you're a friend, will you support me as I try to strengthen my own ego in this place? Are you going to be a force in my life that's going to help me to do that? To help me to just harden myself even more to openness, to... Now let's back that up. That sounds a bit judgmental. So yeah, let's just keep it simple. Are you the kind of friend that's going to stand by me and help me to strengthen my ego? Or are you the kind of friend that's going to stand by me and support me and help me and encourage me as I try to strengthen and further develop the other aspects of myself that are not ego and ego driven? So the ego, again, it's about self. And as long as we are individuals on this plane, as long as we are manifesting in human form like this, and we have, we're separate beings in that sense as we move through this place, there's got to be some self-service. There's got to be some self-service as far as attention to that aspect of ourselves, the ego, because that's what it is. It is what it is. We are this right now. So sometimes people want to go all the way to that other extreme and say, no, eradicate the ego, destroy the ego. The ego is wrong. It's bad. It's evil. No, we don't want to go about it that way, because the ego is an aspect of ourselves. So anyway, so we can have relationships where the people around us are cheering us on as we strengthen that ego aspect of ourselves. Or we can have relationships with people who are like we said, really supportive and encouraging and standing by us through the process of spiritual growth. We'll call it spiritual, just meaning not ego. And to keep it simple. And spiritual doesn't have to do with God or religion. It just, and at least not when we're talking about it here, it has to do with other than ego. This physical manifestation of ourselves right now. So the thing about it is, even though we need the ego to some extent to exist in this place, there's balance. And the problem with the ego is that it really, really wants to be at the helm all the time and control all aspects of our existence. And that's not balanced. It's not appropriate. But when we feed it, that's exactly what happens. And when we're with people who are helping us to do this, it's working against us because there's not balance. And so there's not going to be growth. If we want growth, things have to be aligned. And so what do we mean, though, when we're talking about, okay, you got friends who are keeping you in your ego all the time? Well, obviously, we're in the process of change. We are. And what humanity has been for the last however many thousands of years, and this kind of a separation survival mode, it's changing. And we're moving on now. We're moving past that, and we're growing. And that's hard. Let's just put that out there right now. It is not easy. It's not easy. We've compared it to childbirth, and most of us don't remember what that felt like. If we were a parent, if we were a mother giving birth, we know what that felt like, but we don't recall our own birth. But it probably wasn't a picnic. It probably wasn't a day in the park. It was a difficult process. We're coming from one state of existence and moving to a whole different one, a whole different kind of reality and experience, and that's what we're moving into now. And it's very, 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 let's stress the word very again, difficult. And it's very easy and comfortable to not do it, because we got used to this, even though this place, it's hard. It's hard making our way in this world now, man. There's just so much. There's the injustice. We know. We watch the news. Well, I don't watch the news, but we've seen the news and the headlines, and we know that, it's just, it is what it is here. It's a hard way to live. Humanity is going through some hard times. So we are in the process of moving out of that state. But that means we got to come out of this slumber. And we got to make changes. And we don't like making changes. But when you have someone there saying, "Hey, let's let's just blah blah blah. Why don't you just blah blah blah?" But it's keeping you in that slumber state, and it's keeping you from moving, growing, evolving. Then that's, again, like we said, that's working against what's happening right now and what's for our benefit. It's what we've been looking forward to for so long. Humanity has been suffering and longing for the time where we can be released from this. And so when the ego feels so good when it's stroked, though. When I'm sitting with my girlfriend, not me, but this is an example. I'm sitting with my girlfriend and I'm kind of just in that mindset, just like, "Rah," and we just start gossiping and we just start just really just drudging up all the ugly stuff going on and bad mouthing other people and the situations in the world too. We're sitting and we're just talking. We're not solving anything. We're just sitting and complaining and just we're just really hardening each other. We're not helping each other, and it's not really a friendship because you are keeping me and I am keeping you from the the beautiful things that are awaiting us. We're staying stuck in the dense thing, you know. Or sometimes maybe you've read something and you're like, wow, that really touched my heart. It really moved me inside, and maybe you want to share what you've learned. It was profound, and and that's what happens. You read something, or you watch something, or whatever. You hear something, and it resonates deep inside you, and we want to share that. And maybe you share that with someone that you consider a friend, and they just knock it down or tell you all the reasons why that's bull crap. That's not real. You really believe that stuff? And they just kind of that kind of thing. Or you're talking about maybe based on what you've heard or read, you want to implement some of those ideas into your own life and start to move in that direction. And a person might say, your friend might tell you, I think you're just wasting your time. You see, that kind of thing. Or just even, it doesn't even have to be that obvious like that. Like you see these horns coming up out of their head like, wow, you're the devil. No, it doesn't have to be like that. It could just be somebody who's seeing you behave badly and laughing along with it. Behaving badly, meaning not according to any doctrine or whatever, but we know when we're, acting up, and we just feel it. We feel it inside because we are meant to be existing in love. We're not meant to be existing in a way where we're working against love. And so if you are doing that and then someone is laughing along and encouraging you to continue and that kind of behavior, well, that's just another way that's preventing you from your growth. We would say that in that sense, that's not a friend. A friend, a friend is gonna help you to grow, not hinder it or stand in the way, be an impediment. But it's not that people do this consciously, and that's why it's so difficult because most of the time people are not doing this consciously. We just kind of got in a rut, you know. And sometimes people just feel very strongly about things, and they just they're not open within themselves, and to see you being open to things that I'm not open to, that kind of scares me. And so I'm going to lash out, either in a way that you feel it hard, or just kind of trivialize whatever you're saying to undermine it just so that we stay on the same team, you see, and then my thing isn't threatened as long as you and I are kind of connected in that way. So anyway, so of course we're not saying, so anybody who's doing this, you need to cut those people out of your life. We can't tell people what to do, and that's not necessarily the right thing to do. Uh, People are stuck, like we said, in a rut, and many of us still are too. So it's not about judgment, but at this point, we're being offered the option of growth or stagnation, working against the growth. We personally are being offered that. So we need to make decisions. If we want to grow, we need to make decisions that are in accord with that. If we don't really care and or we're just kind of like, it is whatever. Well, then we're going to make decisions according to that. It's up to us. We are each in the driver's seat of our own lives, our own existence. And certainly you don't want to just do things if that's not what's resonating with you. So you don't want to just start behaviors because you think it's the right thing to do. You want to sit with yourself and really contemplate, okay, where am I? Where do I want to go? And how do I want to feel? Because, that when the ego gets stroked, it feels good at the moment. We're all about instant gratification, right? But then later on, you're getting ready for bed and you're kind of thinking a little bit about the discussion you had with your friend and how some of the ugly stuff that was discussed, and you don't feel good inside your gut about it. You don't feel good about it. And we just kind of shoo it away like a pesky fly in our face. Like, yeah, whatever, But deep inside, we know. We understand because the way we're designed. So, those are just some ideas for us to consider. We're at that place now, and it's not about looking out at other people and judging them. That's a waste of time. What it's about is looking inward and seeing, we're looking and we're contemplating what really, where we're at and where we want to be. And if in whatever direction you want to go in, you make those choices that are going to move you in that direction. But it's on us alone to do that. And we don't need to explain or rationalize to anybody else. If I choose to associate with this person or that person, that's my choice. I don't need to explain it to anybody else. I'm a grown person here, and you don't need to explain it, but just accept what is. That's all, And that's where we're at now. We're at that place where we're just looking it right in the eye and saying, this is what it is. And we're not playing little mind games anymore with ourselves to make us feel a little bit better about this and that. No, we're looking things right in the eye, head on, and proceeding according to whatever choices we want to make. So just some stuff to think about. And I hope that was helpful for someone out there. As always, we want to wish you much love. Bye.